Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be today. We're going to talk about how to confidently ask for a promotion. And I'm just going to give everybody a few seconds to log on to connect. I believe this is the first time I'm actually able to go live on LinkedIn, so I'm really excited. I should be live at the moment on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram and Facebook. So the miraculous technology allows me to be alive everywhere. So wherever you are, please share with me who you are, where you're from. I'm really excited to talk about how to move forward with a promotion, because we are in the time of a great resignation, as it is called. And so this is a really good time for you to consider a promotion, get promoted in the workplace. And I'm going to go over with you strategies on what I recommend to do to get promoted, who to talk to in your corporation to get promoted, and what to do confidently to prepare yourself for a promotion. So let's dive in. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nancy Micheli. I am the founder of The Confident Feminine Woman, and I am on a mission to empower 1,000 women on their leadership journey to flourish in both life and business. And my ideal plan is to create more women CEOs in the world. I have over 25 years of experience in the oil and gas and industry and engineering leadership roles, and I have successfully saved companies $9 million in 9 months and executed multiple projects under budget. And I believe that our employees and our team are our strongest asset, and that when corporations have more diverse cultures and more women in leadership, that they perform better. And that's not just a belief, but that is actually based on facts that are studied in research. So if you are in a company or a leader in a company, then your company is 25 to 36% more likely to have above average success when you have women in your senior leadership positions. So let's get into our topic today, and this is how to confidently ask for a promotion. And I want to start with, why is this a good time in our career to start asking for a promotion? Well, the reality is 2021 is dubbed as the Great Resignation. And why is that? Because with COVID, people started to realize a great deal of things, and women especially, because of the extra effort that women have put into both workplace and at home, this has led to an increase in burnout. So we've got 40% of people leaving their work because of burnout. Companies are going through organizational changes because of this. So we've got 34% of people resigning due to changes in leadership. We have over 20% of people resigning due to instances of discrimination, and 20% of contributions or ideas not being valued in this process. So when leaders aren't stepping up to value these ideas that people are bringing to the workplace, then this causes huge problems. There is 19% because of insufficient benefits, and other people are leaving 16% because they do not feel that they are supported in their company. And here's the thing: when women step up into leadership roles, guess what? Some of those things start to go away. Women are known to, and especially during crisis and during COVID, to provide these nurturing environments so that people can thrive. So today we're going to talk about how to get a better job, how to move up the organizational ladder, and why you may want to actually stay with the company that you have. But here's what people are looking for in jobs. And this is all in accordance with, I believe, Forbes magazine, is that people want the ability to work more remotely. We have learned through COVID that we can actually work remotely and successfully. And I personally have seen people who were reporting to me during this COVID who performed outstandingly during this perspective. People are leaving because there is better compensation. So think of these things when you're going to get your promotion. They are looking for better management, better company reputation, better work-life balance, and better flexibility in their schedule. So these are things that people want when they get promoted. And if you are interested in getting promoted, if you're interested in asking confidently for a promotion, understanding what people want who may be coming in from outside of the company to your company, understanding what you personally want, that you have learned over this time period, really help you in setting success for asking for your job. So I'm going to go over 3 different topics today in asking for a job. One is dispelling the myth that your boss is the person that you should talk to. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail. I'm going to provide to you, I said I was going to provide 5 strategies for things to prepare when you're going to go ask for a promotion. And these don't matter if you're a man or a woman, if you are LGBTQ, be aware that these are things that will help you in preparing to be confident when you show up for that request of a promotion. And then I am going to get into, at the end, some of these unsaid biases that are actually still happening in corporations. And as much as laws and things have come into place, these unsaid biases are still existing. And what are some things that you can potentially do to help overcome some of these unsaid biases in looking for a promotion in the workplace? So let's start with dispelling the myth that going to your boss is the answer. How many people, and I'm curious, and even if you're watching this on the replay, have gone to your boss and asked for a promotion? And there's been all of these excuses as to why they can't promote you. Maybe it's because they need you so desperately. Yes. And I've heard that comment before. Maybe it is people are leaving and it's just not a right time. There are tons of excuses that your boss will typically give you, even if you are a high performer. Because the reality is, if the boss loses a high performer, or if you're showing up and doing all of the things that make the boss's life easier, now they've got to train somebody, now they've got to look for somebody, and they're not necessarily interested in doing that. So my recommendation is actually to go to your boss's boss. And here's why you want to go up one ladder in the leadership run, is because your boss's boss actually has a better understanding of the positions that are available at a move up, where your boss may only be aware of positions at a lateral move that you could qualify for. But if you want to step up into a position similar to what your boss is doing, then you need to go one level up in the organization to understand that. Those people at that level, at that next level up, are looking for people who are interested in stepping up, who are looking for people who understand what the corporation is looking for, what the needs are, and are trying to find people who can step up into that next level of management. And so this doesn't matter if you are in a contributor role and you are looking to step up into a first-line manager role, or maybe you're a manager looking to step up into a second-level manager role, then you should be going to your boss's boss. So go up at least one level. And for some of you, that may feel really uncomfortable. And so what I would say is prepare in advance to be in positions where your boss's boss gets to know you, where it could be just as matter of attending meetings and speaking up in those meetings, but get yourself into opportunities and positions where your boss's boss gets to know you, gets to see you perform and shine, and create a relationship with your boss's boss. And I know with a lot of people, they're like, "Ooh, that may feel really uncomfortable." But the reality is, if you want to step up into leadership, if you want to be seen as someone who is ready to take on that next level in the organization, it's really important that your boss's boss sees you and has the understanding. Or if you're looking to move to a different part of the organization, then you want to find that senior level person who can give you advice, who can tell you what it is that they are looking for. And when you've found that person, ask them. These people are just humans like you and I, and they're looking to move up the chain, and they're looking for the same stress and experiences that we have. So what you want to do is ask them for feedback. What types of behaviors or what types of habits do you see in somebody who fills this level of leadership? If it's you're moving way up in the organization and you're looking to move into a senior vice president position or a C-level position, then one of the things that they may be looking for is how well do you network out of your organization so that you can bring customers and clients to your business, regardless of what your previous role is. If you are in a contributor level and you want to move up to a first level manager, maybe it's taking the opportunity to lead a project or lead a team or step up into some leadership activities, even though you may not have the managerial experience. Find out from the next level up in your organization, what it is that that boss is looking for. What is it that they think makes the next leader that they are looking for? And get an opportunity to speak with them. Set up time and take that time to speak with them. You don't even need to ask for a promotion at this stage. Just find out what is necessary to get promoted to that level. And if you don't know who that is that you should talk to, go talk to the HR manager and see if they can set up some connection and provide you that feedback. I believe that when you connect with your boss's boss and when you create that relationship and awareness of them, then they will start to better recognize you and you have a better chance of getting promoted up the organizational ladder. Okay, so now let's take a moment and we're going to go into my strategies to prepare for a promotion. Because the reality is, to be confident in asking for a promotion, you want to go in prepared. And what I think COVID has shown us, and people have moved back, is that we sometimes get really nervous and really stressed about asking for it. And it's because we've waited. We haven't thought forward. We haven't prepared ourselves to go in and have a good conversation, to go in and step into the role that you want to be. So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to think about, what is it that you want? What is the role that you want? And what do you expect? And so at the start of this, I talked about some of the things that are causing people to switch careers. And so, is it that you expect to be able to personally work from your own space, or you want to be able to work both at work and away from work? Or you want space where you can have some quiet time so that you can focus? Is that something that's really important to you? Is having somebody as a good manager important to you, so that when you are looking for that role, it's like, okay, what is it that I'm looking to step into? And how does that bring me joy? And how do the people that I get to work with in that portion of the organization also lift me up, bring me joy, and make the work better. So, what is the management style? What is that perspective that you want? What is the work life balance that you want? I think one of the other things that COVID has brought out is with a lot of women, we have overgiven in the workplace. We have stood up and made sure that everybody is feeling emotionally connected, where according to research, our male counterparts have not done that. And that's really due to the fact that women generally bring to the workplace a more harmonizer and a more fun perspective than men. Actually, 73% of women show up with those emotional traits. We're only 10% of us actually really connect to this idea of thoughts and thinking, which is where most men actually focus and have their energy at work. And it's not to say that one is right or one is wrong. It's just to indicate that that is the way it takes place. And so if you want better work-life balance, I don't care if you are a man or a woman. I think we've started to realize that work-life balance is becoming more important. What flexibility do you want in a schedule? Do you want Fridays off? I loved when I worked for companies where I got either what we called happy Fridays, and so one Friday a month was off. Some companies that I've worked for also always had Friday afternoons off. So we worked 9 hours Monday through Thursday and a 4-hour day on Friday. What is it that you want? Before you go ask for a promotion, get clear on what it is that you want and what it is that you want in your job. What type of role are you looking for? Get really, really clear. The next thing I want you to do is look for people who are currently doing that job. And what is it about them that makes them successful in that job? Now, here's the deal. You do not need all of the skills. You do not need to go take another course to get the job. Part of the purpose of moving into a job and stepping up is that you will learn a good portion while you're in the job. But what is it that those people who are currently in a role that you are interested in, what is it about them? Observe them, interview them, go buy them a drink or a cup of coffee and get some time to know what it is. And what do they bring to the role? And if they are in the position that you want, foster a relationship with them about how you can potentially fill their role so that they can move up the organizational chain. And because leaders do want to move up, right? We want these different opportunities, but connect with them. Get to know what it is that drives them, inspires them, and moves them up the chain. The third thing then I want you to do is define a clear list of attributes that you bring. So what are the skills as well as the talents and the soft skills that you bring? Are you really good at motivating different people from different work areas? Are you, especially as a woman, able to balance that nice and aggressive so that you can drive and get things done and get results moving while still bringing that person of who you are and really help those people to move forward? What are the skills? What are the attributes that makes you great for that role that you already have? Get to know them as much as possible. The next thing, and this is really important for women, men do this much better than we do, and that is create hierarchies of connections. And so take time to connect with different people. The cool thing about women is because over 70% of women fill into this category of being able to either harmonize, build relationships, or bring fun and play to the workplace. We have a really good ability to create connections. And so we need to utilize that ability to create connections, because one of the great things that men do extremely well And it is the old boys club, is that they create connections. And so we as women especially need to create connections both with the men in our organization and the women in our organization who have gone before us. And if you are a woman in the organization, please reach out and connect to somebody younger who you can help move up the organization. So making connections is really, really key, and creating a network. And as you move up the corporate ladder, it is more and more important to create connections, because the further you go up, your role will be to start to bring business, will be to start to encourage clients and people to want to work with your company and to set the expectations for your company. So creating connections and learning how to create those connections early on in your career is really important. The next thing is know your worth. And I don't mean your worth necessarily just in the skill and talent that you have. You are probably a high performer already interested in moving up the chain. The challenge is that lots of corporations will tell people not to share what their salaries are. And here's what that does for women in the organization. It causes a bigger disparity, especially for people of racial descent or gender, such as LGBTQ. It becomes even harder for them. So spend time really trying to dig in to what your counterparts or what people are getting paid at that level, and start to know the worth and value of the job. I'm just going to actually flip into the biases, but here are some stats just to be aware of. This is from Stats Canada, and this data is only like a year or two old. Women executives get paid 50% less than men. And why is that? Because we keep it a hush secret, because we don't realize what our worth is when we go in to negotiate our salary. And when you're asking for a promotion, you want to know what your worth is. So when women get paid 50% at an executive level than men, that's really unheard of. And the average is men are making $1 million, women are making $500,000. Here's a bigger problem, is that the visibility of minority women visibly minority women actually make 32% less than non-visible minority women. So women make 50% less, and then women of minority will make even less than that. And the other thing in Canada that we have found is that only 1 woman in 10 are executives from visible minorities, and less than 1% of women who are Indigenous actually make it up into our executive levels. So knowing your worth, when you show up, especially as a woman in the workplace who's looking for a job, one of the biggest battles you're going to have to fight is overcoming your worth and your value. And you may think that it feels icky, it feels uncomfortable to get to know what the male counterparts in those roles are getting paid, but do it, because you do not deserve to be underpaid for the same value of work. And the reality is, based on lots of organizations, that women have the ability, and I said this at the start, to make companies more profitable when we have women in executive roles. And the stats actually say, and this is 2020 stats, I believe, show that women in leadership roles, in those executive positions, if companies have greater than 30% women in those executive positions, those companies perform better on average than companies that don't. And so if you want, utilize some of this data to say, you know what, by helping promote me, I get to help this company be better. I get to help it perform better. I get to help the employees perform better, because from a leadership standpoint, from a research standpoint, that is true. So now that you've known your worth, the next thing you need to do, and this can be a bit more of a challenge in preparing for asking for the promotion, is understanding the psychological energy that you bring in the room and the psychological energy that men bring in the room. So I've said that women are high levels in harmonizers, and this is this need for emotional connection and this need, and they bring fun into the workplace. Often, though, the bulk of men in the corporate world speak in thoughts and facts or beliefs and opinions. And so, if you come into a conversation asking for results, or asking for that promotion, and you come in just as from a harmony, from this concept that people all should have um, the same benefits, the same perspectives, you're going to have challenges. Now, I'm not saying that your philosophies aren't right. I'm just saying that if your goal is to move up, you need to understand the language and you need to be heard by the person receiving your request. And so understand how they speak, understand the language that they use. Are they someone who uses more thoughts and facts when they show up? And if so, then show up with thoughts and facts. Give them a list of really good reasons as to why and show the performance stats that you have done to date. And you will need to do that with a good level of confidence. You need to do that fully aware. So being prepared with that information, being prepared will help you. If that person happens to have emotional connection, then feel free to bond with them on an emotional perspective and talk about what it is that you can bring from an emotional perspective. But your goal when promoting yourself is to understand how the other person thinks and how they perceive information. And one of the best ways to gain skills in this is through a model called the process communication model, which was built through the work with NASA and also used by Pixar. But it helps understand communication so that you can create a better understanding and ability to be heard by the other person. As well, make sure that your energy tank is full so that you are in your best place. When you are, then you are a success. And then the last thing that is in my strategies is prepare your exit strategy. Now, this may seem odd, but your exit strategy, especially if you're a middle manager and want to move up to another level, what an exit strategy is, it's not about you necessarily leaving and joining the great resignation. The exit strategy is preparing yourself to hand over your job to someone else so that you can move up. And if you are currently in a leadership position that allows you that with the opportunity for you to move up to next levels of leadership, start looking at people who could fill your position. How are you engaging them? How are you training them? How are you developing them? And this is one thing that I used to do historically in my career is I was always looking at how I could engage people below me to step up into roles, giving them opportunities to fill my position so that then I had the opportunity to move up in the organization and create more of those people below me. And so I want you to think about what is your exit strategy? Do you have an exit strategy? Do you have the ability to plan with your boss or the company on how you will be able to transition easily and smoothly into the new role and allow somebody to step into the role that you're in? Because as soon as you can do both of those, you're starting to get yourself on that perfect path to moving up, to moving into a new opportunity. So create an opportunity in an exit strategy where you are empowering somebody else to move up and step up into your role so that you are ready, so that you are set to move up the ladder into the next role. So when you confidently go to have a discussion about a promotion, about a new job role that you want in the company, I just want to review what it is that we talked about. So, one is you clearly understand what it is that you want in that role and it is fully defined. You have a clear understanding of what the attributes are of somebody currently in that role and how your list of attributes and skills are able to do that. You've created a network of people, both in your boss, in your boss's boss, and other people around you who are there to support you. You know your net worth. You know the value of that job. You have found out what people are getting paid to do that role so that you are ready to ask for the same value for you doing it. You are psychologically full of energy and know what language the person who is looking to fill that role uses. And you have an exit strategy so that you are prepared to actually move into that new role. So now that we've gone over those strategies, I do want to say, and I'm going to be 100% honest here, as women, it is harder for you to move up the chain than it is for your male counterparts. And I would love to sit here and tell you that, oh no, it should be easy, it should be great, but it's all crap. And I'm going to be honest with you, the research is not good in relation to women moving up the organizational channel. And what's even worse is that the great resignation and this COVID has caused a lot of women to step back. So, women, we need you to step up and we need you to support each other in this process. And we also need you to do more work to support other women and other genders. And unfortunately, this is a lot of work. It is exhausting. And I would like to tell you that it can get better, but it can only get better if we step up and do it. And no different from the feminist organizations years ago who fought really hard for our right to work, we now need to continue that and move it up. So I'm going to share with you a little bit more of some of the biases that are working and that are constantly out there, making that challenge really difficult. So one is what's known as the onlys. And I have spent a lot of time in my life as being the only woman in the room, the only woman on the leadership team, the only woman leading teams of 1,000 men. So I get it, what it is like to be the only. And here's the problem with being the only woman in the seat, and it's even doubly hard if you are a minority and a woman, or if you're a minority and you are trans. It becomes really hard because these perceptions are really deeply ingrained in the people that are making the decisions. And they aren't necessarily even consciously aware of it, that they're doing it. So you need to be aware that if you are what's known as an only, so being the only Black person in the room, being the only woman in the room, being the only transgender person in the room, you are going to be scrutinized more for both your successes and your failures. And if you don't take time to really toot your own horn, to amplify your successes, it will get drowned out. And so I encourage you, I implore you to speak up every time you get. And you may sound like a broken record and you may feel like, gosh, this does not resonate with me. But go back to your emotional need. Go back to, if it's fun, if it's a little bit of time that you need just to connect with people on a emotional level. And then when you are in front of the leadership team and you are full of energy, take those moments to toot your own horn. And the more you learn to do this, the more you learn to share what you are exceptional at, what you have done well at, the easier it will become. But until you start doing that until you start doing it, it will be difficult. Here's another stat and fact is women are 24% less to be offered advice from a senior leader. So if you want to know what is needed to move up the organizational challenge, you're going to have to ask, 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 ask. And it may sound like a broken record, but the more you ask for advice and you step up and do that advice, the better it will become. Mentorship is really about asking for some advice and then proving through your activities and what you do that you are listening to that advice and taking it on. And so as women, because senior leaders are 24% less likely to give you advice than your male counterparts, unfortunately, you need to ask for it. So sitting in your office, being friendly, hoping that everybody's going to be treated evenly is a load of crap. Go ask for what you want. Okay, the next bit is around visibility, and it's a little bit on the same study, but Stanford University did a study about women and the importance of visibility should they want to move up the chain. And as women, what they found is we kind of avoid visibility because we're really worried about the backlash due to self-promotion. And this is also one of the things that sometimes happens when we're going to ask for a promotion. If we worry about that backlash of self-promotion, guess what? It is not going to help us move up the channel. And so I want to encourage you to learn to self-promote any opportunity. And it may feel slimy, but the reality is if it's coming from a truthful place, if it is coming from a place of honesty, from a place of resonance, from a place where you are exceptional, then say it. Say it nicely, say it easily. It doesn't need to come out with anger or I'll just deal with it myself. Just say it. Just communicate it out any opportunity that you have. And it may sound like a broken record to repeat it over and over and over again, but the reality is we need both our male and our female and our LGBTQ community to hear that A, it's okay as a woman to share what we are great at, and B, to give permission to other women to do it more. So I want you to engage and to give permission for people of other diversities to share their worth and their wealth. Because as we share more of it, as we learn to speak up more in the corporate world, as we learn to take ownership and say, I want that job. I want that position. I own that position. I deserve that position. The more we start to get used to that, the more confident we will get when we go ask for that promotion. So I want to thank you for taking time today to be with me, to think about what it is to confidently ask for a promotion. And I appreciate that you could be anywhere today investing your time, but you chose to be here. You chose to watch this video. You chose to think about what is it that I need to do to move up the corporate ladder. My name is Nancy Michelli, and I run 2 programs for women. One is called The Confident Feminine Woman, and that is really to build confidence in just your general life, feeling confident and feeling worth in what you do. The other is Amplify Your Leadership, and that is to help you And it doesn't matter if you're a woman, if you're somebody of the LGBTQ community, if you are a minority, my goal is to help you move up the corporate ladder because I know you work hard. I know you show up every day and put in the hours and hours and are missing the recognition you get. So I want you to be successful. I want women, I want diverse cultures in corporations because when corporations are more diverse, they operate better. And as women move up the corporate ladder, we are able to stop what has happened in COVID and start to move us forward. So if you want to know more about that, here's what I do. I offer a free complimentary coaching to every person who wants that and wants to understand what is a simple thing that they can do to help move them forward. What is something that they can do to help get that promotion? If you are looking to get a promotion, I encourage you to reach out and do a free coaching with me. What is the worst that's going to happen in it? Is you may find out and you may discover something that's been holding you back that we laser coach out of you so that you can achieve the results that you want. You are incredible. You are amazing. And the world needs to see you show up in the corporate world, moving up that ladder to make a huge difference. If this has been helpful to you, click the like button wherever you are finding me. I am grateful that you are here, and I look forward to chatting with you next week on another topic around appreciation of the value of yourself. Cheers.